Hello, welcome to my channel where I will be doing a message, giving you a message, presenting you a story through a tarot reading, and it's up to you to decide whether it resonates and makes sense for you. I really hope you're well, and let's just dive right in and see if there are any messages that need to be heard at this time. Well, the card that came out first, oh, it's interesting, 2 9s. 9 could be significant. The first card that came out was the 9 of Cups, and then the second card is the 9 of Wands. The depictions in this deck, it's called the Duloc Tarot. Really love the artwork in this. So there's these two beautiful women laying by water. It looks like some kind of pond with all of this beautiful greenery and flowers surrounding them. They're kind of just lounging. So the cups refers to our emotional body, our emotional makeup, and 9 is significant when it comes to the emotions. It means that there is a wish that you have, that you've put out into the universe, into the world, into your reality, and you're really hoping and dreaming and manifesting it to come into your life. Now, when the card came out, it was reversed, and my instinct was not to read it in the reversed position. I hadn't actually set the intention whether to read the cards reversed or not. Sometimes I do both. But I feel like there's kind of both energies to this card, a reversed energy as well as upright. It feels as though you have done a lot of work in your emotional self, connecting to yourself, understanding yourself emotionally. You have a lot of emotional intelligence, and it feels that you've come to a place where you're very accepting of where you've been, where you've come from, where you are now, and how you navigate difficulties, like emotional difficulties. And you've gone through it many times in your life, starting when you were young. And you may have been a very sensitive person, sensitive to like just energetics in general, but also sensitive to emotions, and you pick up on other people's emotions. And I feel as though it really has been a journey understanding that your sensitivity is not a weakness, it is a strength. And so it's been a hard won journey there. And you're almost, a 9 is, I just saw 333 on the clock. So threes could be significant as well as nines. And 3 is obviously a derivative of 9. So, 9 is almost the close of a cycle. It's coming to the close of a cycle. So you're almost there. And it feels like sometimes you drop back into feelings of, it feels very temporary, but maybe not trusting yourself fully, questioning where you are, questioning a higher power. But overall, it feels like you're very solid. But maybe today you kind of went through an emotion, a questioning, and but it really feels like you're like the 10 of Cups is really close. 10 of Cups meaning like total fulfillment of your emotional wants, desires, needs. Um, the the energetic match to your what you've been sending out into the world, which is beautiful and loving and accepting and also full of joy, I'm feeling. The other card that came out was the Nine of Clubs, and this in this depiction there's a woman in a similar setting. It's like very much nighttime, it looks like, and there's flowers around her. She's walking a path. We can't see the path necessarily, but she's peering around. She's noticing her surroundings. She's walking, it seems, with intention and with purpose, and she's noticing, she's really in tune with the things around her, those around her, her surroundings, her environment, the people. And again, this is a 9, so it's again coming coming around full circle with that cycle. I also looked at the clock and it's 555. So you could be seeing a lot of numbers. You could be seeing 99 or 999, 333, 555. And this is a good indication from the 5D realm, from another the realm that we don't necessarily see, that you really, you are on the right journey, you're on the right path. And I know sometimes it could feel like, because you're seeing so many signs and synchronicities, especially numbers that pop up all the time, like license plates or the time. I know 999 can't show up on a clock, but phone numbers, whatever it is, you could be seeing those repeating numbers, and then while you're seeing them, you kind of ask yourself, but like, or source, why do I keep seeing these? Like, it doesn't feel like anything specifically significant is happening in your life, like anything super grand. But I think that just goes to show you that you've found your peace in the everyday, in the mundane, chopping water and carrying wood. And not every day is going to feel completely elated. Although there might be moments of it, there might be moments of really feeling totally present and aware of your surroundings and yet at peace with them. Okay, that was good. A lot for the first 2 cards that came out. Okay, then we have the Knight of Pentacles, the 7 of Pentacles, and the King of Swords. So the first one that my eye was kind of drawn to was the Knight of Pentacles. The depiction of this knight, this horse is stationary. The knight is kind of looking off into the distance. They're resting, both of them, the horse and the rider. So it could, this energy is this wish that you have right now, that you're thinking about a lot, could involve somebody else. And it could feel like there's a standstill, a pause, and it could be going on for a long time. And you're really curious and really maybe sometimes frustrated and feel impatient about what might happen or what could happen, or whether things will work out with this person. It feels like a romantic connection, but it might be something else. It might be another kind of connection. And it seems as though this other person, to you, it feels as though they've really been focused elsewhere. Like their attention is somewhere else. Their world is somewhere else. They've been focusing on something else entirely. And you might not even know what that is, because I don't think you're in contact with this person, or you're not in contact with them a lot. or there's not a lot of communication. Um, and so there's some confusion, some curiosity, and it just feels like you've been waiting. And the King of Swords, uh so the King of Swords is like highly intellectual, highly quick-witted, and really good at communicating, like charismatic in their communication. um so it feels like maybe this other person that you're wondering about, sorry, has these qualities, and yet you're not seeing them in the 3D reality, but you might be feeling them. You might be picking up on some telepathic communication. And I feel like you're both kind of dreaming about a similar thing. Like this Seven of Pentacles, this like, there's this couple in an orchard, and they're savoring and lounging in this beautiful, beautiful location, this environment, and they're so content to be there and with each other. And it really does feel like you've been thinking about this with this other person, and I do think this other person has been feeling this and wondering about this as well. And yeah, there's just like there's a lot of questions, there's a lot of like insecurity sometimes, and you're really curious, like what is to come of this. Let's see if we can find any more answers for this. Okay, we have another knight. No, sorry, this is the page, not the knight. 2 pages. Okay, we have the Page of Swords and the Page of Pentacles. You both are learning a lot through this process. This is a huge learning process. You both are the student in some way or another, but I feel like this represents both of you. In one aspect, the thing that you're learning is like control of your mental faculties, control of your communication. I feel like maybe in the past you were impulsive with your communication, and you would have just reached out with like when you were feeling self-conscious or needy, or like just needed that connection because it made you feel wanted or seen or important. But you have reined that in, and in this dynamic you knew that wasn't the right thing to do. Sometimes when my fridge turns on, my light flickers, so that one lasted for a long time. Which I feel is part of the message. So, you know, like how the light went out, and for a moment there was like almost like a panic that you couldn't see. There was no light, there was no way of knowing or seeing the other person, or like into the future or the present, or whatever it was that you were wondering about or curious about. And but then the light came back on. And maybe you go in and out of this feeling of like, oh no, I can't see, I can't, I don't know, I don't understand. But then I just saw 444, so numbers have been really important for you. I've been seeing a lot of numbers. And you want some confirmation, but it hasn't necessarily come yet. Um, but just going back to the metaphor of the light kind of partially going out, and I think you've been learning to feel in the darkness, like learning to feel and understand, not necessarily by seeing. Um, you've been learning faith. You've been learning how to keep faith, even though you can't know and you don't see exactly what the dynamic is or what it could be, or um, yeah, learning to see in the dark. You've been learning to see in the dark. And it's interesting how in this, so the woman in this depiction is kind of facing away from the page, but then she's kind of turning back towards him as well. And then he's reaching his hand towards her, but he hasn't fully reached out to her. And it looks like he's looking down at her hand, like he wants to touch her and he wants to like bring her in, but he's hesitant to do so. He's kind of in this in-between place of deciding whether or not he wants to reach out. So I'm feeling that is very much a part of this dynamic, and it, it might not be a masculine person in the dynamic, but one of the people in the dynamic is, well, I feel like it's the other person, because you are learning to call it in and be a magnet for the thing that you want to receive. And I think specifically it's been important for you and not for the other person, because in the past you have not done that. You've chased a lot of people, and you're learning to be magnetic. And it's interesting that this is a Pentacles card, because this is about the physical world. And so we manifest energetically, and by being the frequency, the match for what we need to receive, and really believing it, but then it appears in the 3D. So that's why like the swords and the pentacles are important, because it's like it's an exercise of the mind, and like really thinking and feeling a certain way to bring it into the physical reality. Okay, are there any more messages that need to come out? The Tower. This is often, at least for me, when I've pulled cards in the past for myself, it feels like a foreboding card, or like, it could be a little bit frightening. I don't really see it that way anymore. I feel like because I've lived through so many through so many Tower moments. But I'm getting it's for the other person, that like they're getting shaken up by this circumstance or the situation. And it's necessary for them and their growth and their journey, because this isn't just about you, it's about you and another person. So they also need to go on their journey. And I think you know that, but sometimes it's good to remind yourself of it. And perhaps it does feel like a Tower moment for you too, where in the past, like, you needed reassurance and you needed confirmation, and it just hasn't come quickly at all for you in this dynamic. And it's really been trying and testing your patience. And I just want to give you some encouragement to tell you that it's going to be all right. Like, that's definitely what it feels like. It feels intense. It feels like there's a lot of intense energy and like telepathic energy, energetic communication between you, which is intense. It's intense. It's a lot. Ooh. The Ten of Swords. So this is about closing out a cycle. Closing out the cycle of the swords would mean being freed from your own mental cage. The things that you think about that trap you, in certain thought forms or beliefs. It's not easy. But it's coming to a close. You're on the verge of like getting it. And I feel like it has to do with just like really fully letting go and trusting that when you fully let go and when you're in alignment with where you need to be, everything happens for you. But really, it's really not easy. I get it. Okay, the four of... Ooh, 2 4s. Can't remember if I saw 4s earlier, but 2 4s, another, repeating numbers, more repeating numbers. So the 4 of Pentacles and the 4 of Clubs. The 4 of Pentacles is about stability and foundation and creating that place from which you can create in a sustainable and healthy way, or you can live in a sustainable and healthy way. It means like nourishing your body and nourishing your mind and making your home like a safe, sacred haven for you to replenish yourself. Surrounding yourself with people that uplift you. Taking time to rest. Those kinds of things. And the 4 of Clubs, well, there's a lot of women in this card, a lot of different figures that could be like the same person, just different depictions of the same person, but it also could be many people. So it's about finding balance and harmony between others and also finding balance and harmony amongst and between the different parts of yourself, the different selves that may sometimes feel like they're in conflict. Just see 22 11. So again, repeating numbers. Yeah. So I saw 222 as well. So yeah, balance, harmony, like you're there. You've found a lot of harmony and balance within yourself, and though it sometimes may not feel like you're where you are or you're where you necessarily want to be, I just suggest that you take a look around your space or, wherever you are, the places that you are in your day-to-day life, and note the things around you that you have that you're grateful for, that you yourself have manifested or called in or created, and just that, that's the major part of manifestation and joy, and having true joy in life is noting the things that we're grateful for. And yeah, there's frustrations and things that can stress us out and bug us, and like, we're human, we have a range of emotions, but gratitude. Keep a gratitude journal if that helps. Just write about a couple of things every day, in the morning or before you go to bed, and just remind yourself of where you are. And I think you will find that it is pretty beautiful. So I pulled some oracle cards. The 2 cards I pulled out were TikTok and Flexible. This TikTok, I'm feeling that you feel like you're out of time, or you're not on time, or things are not coming in time. But I think you're focusing too much on time. There's too much focus, and maybe there's too much focus on the past and on the future rather than the now. And I know that's like a spiritual cliche or whatever, but it's true. And it's not easy to do. It's not easy to live in the now all the time. But specifically for you and the stage of your journey right now, it's super duper important. One of the things I realized recently was that it took me many years to figure it out, is that when I arrive early, I was chronically would arrive to everything late or just on time, which is no better. Um, when I arrive early to the things I need to get to, it actually gives me the time to be present. Now, if you're stressed and like rushing out the door to be early, that's not necessarily helpful either. But if you can organize your day in a way that like you do have ample time to get where you need to go, it really does allow you the presence to really notice your surroundings and find the joy in the little things, in the little beautiful things that are a part of our everyday natural world. The other card that came out was flexible. So just a reminder that you are flexible. Like you're very capable of being flexible. You've been a flexible person your whole life. You wouldn't be where you are right now if you weren't. And so you have the ability to stretch and bend and move in the ways that you need to in order to accommodate discomfort. Like arguably being flexible, like practicing flexibility physically is about getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. Like to a point. Don't be too hard on yourself, but like don't be masochistic. But it is important to be okay with being uncomfortable. That's what really helps us grow and become strong. And but you are there. You are. These are just confirmations that like that's you. That's who you are, and that's who you've grown to be. And so that you can pat yourself on the back and give yourself time to be in the present. Maybe eliminate some things from your day that are not necessary or stressing you out and adding too much to your plate, and therefore you can't find the time to be present. Or practice, take more time practicing moments of presence, of silence. But yeah, you know how to do that. You already know. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there. I feel like this is getting long. Really hope this is helpful if you stayed along, if you stuck along for the ride. So I'm gonna say bye. Thank you, and I love you.